The ex-con team had been in the middle of a routine exploration when they stumbled upon something unexpected in a remote part of Luban, South Poland. They had been investigating various abandoned sites in the area, but nothing could prepare them for what they were about to find. It all started when one of the team members noticed something peculiar, a pipe jutting out of the ground in the midst of a dense forest. The pipe was old, its surface corroded by time, but it appeared strangely out of place. The forest itself was situated atop an ancient, long-dormant volcano, now fully engulfed by trees, plants, and thick undergrowth. The sight of this pipe seemed incongruous with its surroundings, almost as if it didn't belong here. Curious and cautious, the team decided to investigate further. They set up their equipment and, after a brief discussion, decided to send a night vision camera into the pipe. They had no idea what they might find, but the possibility of discovering something hidden underground intrigued them. The camera descended slowly, passing through the pipe's rusted interior until it finally reached a depth of about 30 meters. The team stared intently at the monitor, waiting in suspense for any clue about what lay ahead. Suddenly, the screen flickered, and the camera captured the opening of a vast, underground tunnel. The tunnel was dark and expansive, stretching far beyond the reach of the camera's limited view. The realization that they had discovered something extraordinary sent chills down their spines. This was no ordinary pipe. It was a gateway into something far more sinister. As the camera continued to explore the tunnel, it revealed a series of rusted minecarts scattered along the tracks, as though they had been left abandoned in haste. The eerie stillness of the scene was unsettling, and the team couldn't help but feel a sense of unease wash over them. It was clear that whatever this place was, it had been untouched for a long time. The minecarts, though weathered by time, seemed frozen in place, as if waiting for something or someone to return. For a moment, the team was left in a state of confusion. What could this tunnel be? Where did it lead? What purpose did it serve? They had no answers, only the growing sense that they were standing on the precipice of an unimaginable discovery. The local authorities were immediately alerted, and within hours, they arrived with an old, tattered map. The map, dating back to World War II, depicted the location of a secret tunnel system built by the Nazis. The tunnel the team had found was part of an underground network constructed during the war, and it had remained hidden for decades. The map revealed that the tunnel had been built 80 years ago, deep beneath the surface, and it had been sealed off after the war. Over the years, nature had obscured its entrance, hiding it from the world above. The pipe the team had found was likely a remnant of the tunnel's ventilation system, a last vestige of its once active purpose. The team was astonished by the discovery, but the horror of what they had uncovered was only beginning to set in. As they ventured deeper into the tunnel, they could see remnants of the past, rusted tools, broken equipment, and traces of military activity. The tunnel, which had once served as a vital part of the war effort, now felt like a tomb, frozen in time. The walls of the tunnel were lined with iron, and remnants of machinery once used to transport goods lay scattered on the ground. Shovels, drill bits, and hoes, tools once wielded by soldiers, had rusted away but remained eerily in place, as though waiting for someone to return. The tunnel seemed to hold a secret, a dark history that had been buried along with it. It became clear that this tunnel had been used for far more than just storage. It was a place of strategy, a hub for military operations during the chaos of World War II. During the war, underground bunkers and tunnels like these were constructed across Europe, serving as secret hideouts, supply routes, and fortresses to protect soldiers from airstrikes and artillery. These bunkers were also used for offensive operations, designed to launch surprise attacks against the enemy. What struck the team the most, however, was the sense of isolation and abandonment that pervaded the tunnel. There was a strange, almost suffocating stillness in the air, as though the passage of time had somehow suspended the place in a state of suspended animation. The dust that settled on the old equipment seemed to tell a story of neglect and loss, but there was also a sense of foreboding, as though the tunnel held something more, something sinister that had been locked away for decades. The local authorities confirmed that the tunnel matched a lost tunnel system built by the Nazis during the war, a system that had been forgotten by time and buried by nature. As they continued to explore, the team uncovered more signs of the tunnel's military past: tracks and minecarts, tools, and scattered remnants of supplies. It was clear that this was a place of great importance during the war. But what had happened here to lead to its abandonment? The team carefully examined the area, trying to piece together what had occurred in this hidden underground world. But there was an unsettling feeling in the air. Something was wrong. The silence of the tunnel seemed to press in on them, the darkness swallowing up any trace of light. It was as if the tunnel itself was holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. In World War II, countries like the United States and Britain were engaged in a bitter struggle against Nazi Germany and its allies, including Japan. During this time, the construction of underground bunkers became a strategic priority, with thousands of such bunkers built across Europe and beyond. These bunkers were designed to provide shelter from enemy bombings, to house soldiers and strategists, and to protect vital supplies. The Allied forces spent a staggering amount of resources building and maintaining their own underground systems, as did the Axis powers. It is estimated that the cost of building these bunkers reached astronomical figures, billions of dollars in today's money. Yet they were often hastily constructed, with little regard for the safety of the workers who built them. Many of these workers were prisoners of war, forced into labor under grueling conditions, often working to the point of exhaustion or death. But even after the war ended, these bunkers and tunnels remained hidden, their locations lost to history. Some were sealed off, their entrances buried under layers of soil and vegetation. Others were abandoned entirely, forgotten by those who had once used them. Yet, as the team ventured deeper into the Luban tunnel, it became clear that this place had not been forgotten. Not entirely. The feeling of being watched, of something lurking in the shadows, grew stronger with every step they took. The air grew colder, and the faint sound of creaking metal echoed through the tunnel. It was as though the tunnel was alive, as though it was trying to warn them, or maybe draw them deeper into its dark embrace. Somewhere deep within the earth, buried beneath decades of neglect, the spirits of the soldiers who had once lived, worked, and died in this place may still linger. It was impossible to know for sure, but the strange feeling of being surrounded by invisible eyes never left the team. The further they explored, the more they became aware of a growing sense of dread, a gnawing unease that told them they were not welcome here. This place, this tunnel, was not simply a relic of the past. It was something more. It had been a home to soldiers, a place of war, and now it was a tomb for forgotten memories and buried secrets. The team had stumbled upon something far more sinister than they had ever anticipated. The tunnel, with its rusted tools, abandoned minecarts, and oppressive silence, was not just a historical artifact. It was a dark remnant of a time long past, a place where the horrors of war had been sealed away and forgotten, but perhaps not for long. As they prepared to leave the tunnel, the team couldn't help but feel that they were leaving something behind, something that was never meant to be disturbed. They had unearthed a piece of history, but in doing so, they had also opened a door to something far darker, a reminder that some secrets are better left buried. The feeling of being watched lingered long after they had left the tunnel behind, and they knew that, For better or worse, they had uncovered something that would haunt them for the rest of their lives.